Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Brice. Do I look different?
Just a little bit from the last time we sat down together. A year ago, you could not have predicted, I don't think, where you are right now,
Oh my
fall
God,
2024.
No shot. I mean, you can't script this. It's like, reality TV is not scripted, folks.
How are you feeling about this new chapter of life for you and where you've landed?
I'm excited. I'm nervous. I think that there's a lot for me to learn. There's obviously gonna be a really big learning curve. There already has been, but I'm excited. I mean, anyone who's watched Summer House from the beginning knows, like, my life's goal has always been to become a mother and have a family, and that's finally happening. So, yeah, it's good. I feel more complete now than I ever have.
That timeline for life is finally coming true.
Yeah,
just maybe not how you wrote it out.
A few years after, yeah, no, for sure. Like, replace the guy's name, replace the years, and the sequence of order of how life goes, because you just cannot, you can't control the way that, you know, life wants to go for you. So, but yeah, I threw that timeline out.
We sat down in February. I think roughly a month later, this happened.
Yep. Yeah, and
How
it's
you
not
found
yours,
out.
by the way,
Yeah,
just so
no,
you know.
It's not mine. Not that it was even a possibility.
Yeah, you're not the baby daddy. Although people, like, in the beginning had a lot of speculation on who they thought the baby daddy was. And I was like, oh gosh.
What was the weirdest suggestion you saw?
The weirdest suggestion was that it would have been Carl's. And I was like, whoa, that is, no.
So walk me through everything. When did you find out you were pregnant and what was your initial reaction to that news?
I found out in early April. I was about a week late for my period, and I'm not on birth control, obviously, but I've always been pretty consistent with my cycle, and so being a week late was like, this is interesting. I ordered a bunch of clear blue tests, took them, and as soon as it popped up, pregnant, I was like, oh, okay, all right, so this is how babies are made.
This was a relatively fresh relationship when this happened. So what was his reaction to the news?
I think it was shocking for both of us. I found out, but I was on my way to Mexico for my best friend's wedding. So I had a couple of days to process it, and I came home and I told him, and you know, that week was just spent having a lot of conversations and just really trying to, you know, talk through everything. And it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on a relationship. You know, at that point, when we found out that I was pregnant, we had only been dating for 3 months. It's hard to digest, like, oh wow, like, so our lives are gonna change, we're gonna be in each other's lives for forever before we actually have a chance to really figure that out, before getting pregnant.
Right.
So I think we were both shocked, right? But then after a lot of conversations, we were like, we're gonna do this. We're doing this. It's happening, we're doing it. And then it's just off to the races, trying to figure out, you know, all the moving parts. Yeah, life comes at you fast, real fast sometimes.
So safe to say this maybe, accelerate might not be the right word, but moved the relationship in a little faster than you were maybe going to take it.
Yeah, yes and no. You know, a lot of people have asked me over the last 8 months, you know, are you gonna live together? Are you moving in? Are you, are you gonna get married? Are you thinking? And I was just like, whoa, like, no. And those were some things that I pretty much took off the table immediately, you know, upon finding out that we were pregnant. I was like, look, I am not looking for a proposal. I'm not thinking about marriage. It's nowhere near the top of my mind, especially after everything that happened last year. Like, I don't even want to talk about marriage or a wedding or an engagement. You know, even living together, he lives so close to me. We're with each other basically every night. So I didn't feel this, you know, this extreme pressure to move in together. And also, like, I didn't want to put that pressure on the relationship either. Because if we weren't pregnant, then we wouldn't move in together so soon. So, like, why, you know, if it's working for us the way that it's working as it is now, then why fix what's not broken?
Yeah, and there's already one big change coming. Why pile on 2 to 3 other changes?
I mean, the amount of stress that a move would have added is just not necessary.
Your boyfriend has chosen to keep his life private and has asked to be anonymous. How are you navigating that? Because you're a very public person. You put everything out there. You let the world watch everything. So how do you walk that line with him?
It's challenging. This is the first time that I've ever found myself in a situation where my partner and my boyfriend is a private person. So I, in the beginning, was like really enjoying that he's a private person. He's successful in his own right. He has his own wonderful job and career, and, you know, financially stable. So, you know, that, as we know, was really appealing to me. But it is very challenging because I am a very public person. I don't know what's gonna happen for the future. In New York, it's always very hard. Like, we live in a city where anybody who's in the financial realm or a financial institution is physically not allowed to be on, you know, any type of television or camera set. They sign these no publicity clauses as a part of their contracts. So it's tough to figure out, you know, and it's also tough because this is the life that I chose.
Yeah.
And I can never really force someone to go down a very public route that I did.
Do you think he'll, maybe at the very least, you could like show him on socials at some point?
Oh, trust me, that is definitely a part of the conversation as well. So yeah, it's definitely I don't even know if it's a work in progress, but we're working on it.
It's an open-ended conversation.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
The Bravo sleuths did do their darndest to figure him out and kind of expose who he is. How did you feel about that happening to him?
I was shocked it took so long. But I was also very proud that I could not believe that I was able to keep him, you know, out of the spotlight and private for as long as I did. It was only a matter of time, and especially with such big news, you know, I basically dropped a bomb on the world.
Right.
That I'm pregnant, and, you know, of course everyone's gonna go searching and finding anything that they can, but there's not much to find, you know?
No.
Like, there's like, oh, he's handsome.
He's got a LinkedIn profile. It's about that much.
Yeah, like, he looks great. They're gonna have a cute baby.
You find out you're pregnant. A few months later, you find out you're having a girl. What was your reaction to learning you were gonna be a girl mom?
I was completely surprised. I was 100% convinced that I was having a boy. All the old wives' tales and myths that tell you like whether you're having a boy or a girl were all pointing to I'm having a boy. So I was completely convinced. And you know, we found out, or at least he found out the gender at the same exact time that we did the genetic screening. You know, for any chromosomal abnormalities. And I, at that time, was just having a rough go at it. Like, I felt like all these rumors were swirling. I couldn't contain them. I wasn't able to openly be excited or celebrate my pregnancy, something that I've wanted for my whole life. And my focus was just like killing stories and rumors and, you know, whatever. So it was hard to really like find excitement. So I was like, okay, if you want to know the gender, you find out the gender, and why don't you just reveal it to me so like I can grasp onto something.
Yeah.
And when he revealed it to me, I was in absolute shock.
Stop! What? No! We're having a girl?
I could not believe that we were having a girl. I was so convinced it was a boy the entire first trimester. Yeah, it's really exciting.
When you say those stories and rumors, what did you feel like you were up against that you had to hit back at?
There was a lot of chatter. There was some podcasters, there was some fan accounts that were just very openly, gossiping about it. I was terrified. I was extremely anxious in my first trimester because I had to hit that milestone of like, what if I have a miscarriage? I need to get through this first trimester where the likelihood of a miscarriage, goes down drastically. And like, people were not allowing me that grace to, talk about what was going on with my body and my life until I was comfortable doing it. So it was just really disappointing and hurtful. Yeah. So it was just a lot of like me trying my hardest to like kill stories so that like when the time came, like I could announce it on my own time.
Okay, that all makes sense. You've been calling baby Hubb Cub.
Yes.
Do you have an actual name in mind already?
We do.
Okay, you have one picked out.
We do, yeah. Everyone calls her Cub, but we're not naming her Cub. We've had a name since basically very, very, very early on. As soon as we found out, or as soon as I found out it was a girl, we just started immediately putting names on a list, and I actually threw this name on the list early on, and he fell in love with it and was like, I love that name.
What's the origin of it without giving away what it is? Because I know you'll probably want to keep that private, but like, where did you come up with this name?
I actually heard it and saw it like forever long ago, not like maybe a few years ago. And it's just always stuck with me. It's not like a name that I came up with when I was a kid. The name I came up with as a kid, like if I was ever having a girl, I love an androgynous name. The origin is more European.
Okay, it's a little hint.
Yeah.
As you're approaching due date, I'm sure the wheels are turning of like, okay, what kind of mom do I want to be? How do I want to approach parenthood? So what is the thought there of bringing a child into the world and raising her?
I think in the beginning, you just try to survive. I haven't really figured out, long term, like what kind of mom I want to be or how do I want to approach parenting exactly. It's hard, but I do know that no matter what, the one piece of advice that has stuck with me so far that we've gotten from friends is that we are a team and a unit, and we're gonna have to stick together as much as possible with how we feel. But I don't know, it's a very layered question, and it is a very complex answer.
Yeah.
I think on the immediate, it's survive.
Will this be her main space, I imagine, and then he'll come here to be with her?
Oh yeah, she's already taking over. This is like the home base.
The nest.
The nest. The Hubb Cub has her whole setup here. It makes more sense. It's very untraditional, but he lives so close. So he's gonna be here every single night. He is obsessed with her already. There's no way that, he's not gonna wanna spend the night, like, just to make sure. I mean, if he could breastfeed, I'm sure he would.
You've been very open with the Summer House audience about your own relationship with your own mother.
I haven't talked to my mom in 8 years. She basically started a second family and forgot that she had kids with her first family. I think about my mom all the time. I don't know if she's thinking about me. It hurts.
I wonder if that informs at all how you will approach being a mom.
I feel very blessed that I am having a girl because I think that it gives me the opportunity to course correct and to break the cycle. I'm now able to give my daughter things that maybe I didn't have from my mother growing up, or, I'm able to take the experience that I had of things I wish happened with my mother and give those to my daughter. So I feel really good about that, and I think it's gonna be a different type of healing that I never knew I needed, because I've done so much healing so far, in therapy and abandonment work. But yeah, I do feel blessed to be able to, you know, kind of close that chapter in a way that I never knew I needed.
Yeah. What was your dad's reaction to becoming a grandparent, and then Aunt Rhonda's reaction?
My dad is very excited. I think he's so excited to have a girl too, as a granddaughter. And he just keeps talking to me about how he can't wait to get her on the boat and take her and teach her how to fish, you know, which is really cute. And then Aunt Rhonda, it's so funny because her daughter is also pregnant and we're 4 days apart.
Oh, wow.
So Aunt Rhonda's like, I have two of you. You know, and in the beginning, she was just going back and forth between the two of us, like, all right, everyone needs to get on the same page here. But she's so excited. Yeah, like it's really fun that we're getting a girl.
Yeah. It sounds like from what you said, your pregnancy has been fairly easy, straightforward. Have there been any surprises along the way? Any cravings? Are you eating more sandwiches?
I am actually.
How many sandwiches have you made for me?
Part of being pregnant is just like using the excuse that I can eat anything. I don't have any specific cravings. I don't have any aversions either. I just enjoy food and I enjoy a lot of food. I have been eating a lot of sandwiches. I know it's so cliche for me.
You filmed a whole season of Summer House while pregnant. What was that experience like?
Oh my God. You know, it was fun. It really was fun. I had a great summer. It truly felt like we were all going through this together, and like we had a house baby on the way. Everyone was so supportive, and you know, it's interesting. Obviously, we've never had like a baby on the show,
Yeah.
and now this is the first Summer House baby, but this is also the first time that a lot of, you know, everyone in the house has been exposed to a pregnant chick. Like even including me, like having the ability to have access to, you know, your friend who's pregnant and see her every single week consistently throughout the summer and asking her so many questions. Like I think all of us were curious how this works.
Right.
So we were all going through it together.
You're like the crash test dummy of
Literally, yes, exactly. We were like, how does this work? But yeah, everyone was very supportive. West's mom is an OBGYN,
Right.
so I kind of turned him into my secondary, like weekend OB while we were at the house. I was like, West, can you text your mom and ask her this? And can you text your mom and ask her that? I will say, I think the most curious was Paige. She was the
Oh.
most curious every week, just like very excited to know how everything worked and like what everything means.
Interesting. I would have guessed Amanda just going in looking at the cast.
I mean, Amanda was highly supportive, but Paige was like the most interested and intrigued by everything. And then I was always asking Sierra a bunch of questions because she's our nurse. So I'm just like, how does this work? When I give birth, like what's gonna happen to me? Yeah, and then like when we felt her first kicks over summer, like I ran to the girls and I was like, feel this. So it was really special.
A nice barrier too. It's like you can't fight with a pregnant woman.
Oh yeah, because I mean that's a terrible look. You can't,
Yeah.
you can't fight with a pregnant chick. I don't think anyone was in the mood to fight with me in this summertime because it was just like it's an exciting moment, and everyone was very respectful of that.
Did you get to kind of surprise them while cameras were up and let them know this was happening and capture their reactions?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I announced a lot of surprises first, you know, to my friends in the house before the rest of the world. Yeah, I think I owe it to, you know, all of us who have been there for such a long time, and then also, you know, it's part of who I am.
You were in this house with your ex. Set the scene for me of what that looked like and what Carl's reaction was to this news.
The rumors were swirling way before we started filming.
Yeah.
So I think in the back of everyone's mind, it was like, is she actually pregnant? Like, we're obviously gonna find out sooner than later, you know, if I'm not drinking all summer.
Right.
It's a huge telltale sign that Lindsay's pregnant. But I think, you know, he was respectful.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does your boyfriend feel about Carl? He's still in your orbit because of your job, essentially.
He doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
Yeah. I think he's very secure with who he is and does not find my ex to be a threat in any way.
Do you have really any relationship with Carl beyond you were in the house together? Like, you talk to him at all outside of the?
No.
No, okay.
No, not unless I run into him, you know, at.
You'll be pleasant out, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, like not even, you know, it's mostly like sometimes he still gets mail here and I'm just like, can you please cancel your mail?
Yeah, so this is the apartment where the breakup happened that we all watched.
These are all things, I have a relationship problem.
Okay, well, there's no more point to this conversation. You've made the decision clear.
Did you have to like sage it? Did you get all new furniture?
Yes, literally got a brand new couch, rug, bed frame, mattress, completely cleared out that second bedroom, and which I have now turned into a nursery, but I saged it. I got rid of all the furniture and then saged before the new furniture came in.
Yeah, so is the nursery, that's the room that Carl used to lock himself in when he was scared of you?
Yes.
I've locked myself in bathrooms a couple of times.
I've locked myself in the guest bedroom.
I don't even think it's because he was scared of me. I think it's because he wanted to just run away.
It sounds like the summer, though, overall is going to be fun and maybe lighthearted for the first time in a long time. How would you describe the season we're going to get?
I think it has all the elements of a great season. You know, it's not just all fun because, like, yeah, that it's great for us in real life to just have fun, but there's definitely some dramatic moments in there, and there's some dramatic moments between Carl and I.
Okay.
There's some dramatic moments between another, you know, set of exes in there.
Okay.
We have new people. They bring very different energy than we've ever had before.
In a good way or a bad way?
I mean, both. You're just like, whoa. But yeah,
Sierra and Jesse were just in Miami together, which had people looking like, what's going on there?
I mean, Jesse Solomon always has people looking like, what's going on there? Last year it was about Amanda. This year it's like, you know, who knows? I'm shocked that people aren't like, you know, raising their eyebrows if I'm ever with the guy.
Have you thought about, there's still months to go until potential next season of the show, but what having a baby means for making that show and your reality TV future?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna bring my baby to a party house in the Hamptons. But we have the last couple of years, we filmed a lot in the city. You know, I'm a Hamptons girl, especially in the summertime. I've been going to the Hamptons since well before Summer House ever existed. I'll be out there a lot. So, you know, it's not me maybe living in the house with my 8-month-old daughter, but I do think that, you know, we leave a lot of room open for someone who's in a transitional point in their life.
Yeah, because we can't just cut you off here with like, she was pregnant, we never saw the baby on the show. Like, we've got to meet the kid and do all that kind of stuff. Are you gonna let her be on social media and show her on TV? Also
a big topic of conversation right now. Geez, it's like you have bugged my apartment. It's in the works.
Okay. Let's get her into the world and then we can make those decisions.
Literally, yes. We've got just a few weeks to go.
Well, you know, a lot of people like to fantasy pitch you as join the cast of Roni, and you were kind of evolving into that chapter of life where you would maybe fit in with that group of women. So would you be open to possibly jumping ship to a different Bravo show?
Obviously, I'm obsessed with Bravo. I love my network. And whatever makes the most sense, yeah, of course. If Roni makes sense for me, give me a call. You know, but I know that it's a bigger conversation among the network and my executives. We're at a point now where I think everything's on the table, and if we can, figure out how to show my transitioning life into motherhood on Summer House, let's do it. If there's other projects that people want to consider me for, I'm available.
Okay. There was a rumor that you were going to do The Traitors, and then the other rumor attached to that is that Dorinda Medley crushed that dream for you because you were pregnant. Was there any truth to that?
Woof. I'm trying to think of like what I'm allowed to tell you.
Okay, well that informs me that maybe it was the truth.
So there you go.
Okay.